This is Carissa with the CH, coming to you with another episode for Beyond the Lash Line. Today I want to talk about how to handle policies and things like that. You know how there's gentle parenting? I gentle parent my clients. I handle my policies with care. There's a fine line between building a relationship and trust with your clients and being taken advantage of and being walked over. You can't just allow clients to reschedule last minute, especially with no-call, no-shows. That is passive parenting, and we won't be doing that. My regular clients do not pay deposits. They don't even pay cancellation fees. So how do I prevent cancellations from happening? I typically rely on the natural consequences that they tend to run into. I'm not going to go out of my way to punish them. I'm not their parent. I'm a service provider. They come to me to relax, not to feel like they're gonna get in trouble. My clients know that if they have to reschedule, they may not be able to get their preferred day and the time that they want, since those other appointments have likely been scheduled for at least 2 weeks or likely already taken. That is just the natural consequence. Limited appointment times, worst case scenario, the consequence is they end up having to get extended fills, which is, it costs more, or even a full set. If they have to book far enough out, the full set might be necessary. Which, by the way, even with an extended fill or a full set, you likely end up getting that same cancellation fee amount or more back due to the service changing to more involved services. But it is different when they're paying more for a specific service rather than paying you something for a penalty. And I will explain that a little bit more, the psychology behind it, when we get farther into this episode, and you'll kind of get what I'm saying. Usually when it comes to having to reschedule someone, I am able to squeeze clients in, but there have been plenty of times where I just can't. Or they've had to extend their lunch break, they've had to use PTO, or tell work that they're at a doctor's appointment, whatever they need to do to work a fill into their life, rather than me having to work their rescheduled fill time into my life. Because my business hours aren't changing. I totally understand and respect and empathize with the fact that things happen in clients' lives. And my willingness to work around that shows that. But I do have my own life, and I do have a son and my own little family where I can't just extend my hours all the time because somebody else's schedule changed. They have the opportunity to reschedule, but it has to be within my working hours. And it has to be within an appropriate time frame to still get a fill. But let me give an example for when it's really something that they can't control. My client messaged me. It was in the middle of the week. Her appointment was on Saturday, like the following Saturday. But the previous Sunday, she had gotten diagnosed with COVID. And she told me, she was like, but I can still come in. Because the next Saturday that she'd be able to come in for is almost 5 weeks out from when her previous fill would have been, which sucks. It's really far out, but she said, I can still come in, I can wear a mask. My son's birthday is actually today, so this was this past Saturday, and my son's birthday is today, so that was only a few days ago. I didn't want to risk getting sick for his birthday because we have his birthday party coming up. So I wasn't able to accommodate as far as just going ahead, letting her wear a mask, me wear a mask, but she understood. We scheduled her for the next fill spot that I have on a Saturday, but she already pays $150 for her fills, and that's an extended fill. I will get onto those pricings in another episode and why they make sense for me and how they may make sense for you, but basically, I didn't even say, oh, you're going to have to get a full set. It's so far out. No, I didn't say that, and I'm not going to say that. Why? She travels. If she comes during the week when people are getting off work, it's a 2-hour drive. On her weekends, it's not nearly as bad, but it's still a track. Like, I'm in Murfreesboro. She's somewhere in Nashville. She comes to me consistently paying $150 every 3 weeks. I'm not going to tell her, oh, you have to pay more for a full set because you got sick and I don't have availability. I will for some people. It really depends on the situation and the person. If somebody likes to get mega volume and they're just not happy with the results, if it's lighter, they're probably going to have to get a full set. This client doesn't really give a damn about what her lashes look like as far as the density and things. And yes, of course they look gorgeous and I do everything I can to make them super cute. What I mean is that she's not picky. I mean, just this last appointment, I saw after she opened that she had a spot on her inner corner that wasn't filled in. I was like, girl, lay back down, let me get this for you. She was like, oh, I'm so glad you saw that too. She was not gonna say anything. And I'm like, girl, tell me. Anyway, so this is a very easygoing client is what I'm getting at. And because of that, why would I want to make her pay additional money when she comes to me every 3 weeks? She gets her extended fills. She's always so sweet and so happy. One of her most recent fills, she gave me some seasonings for fried rice. She gave me games. Like, what? That is such a kind client. I would never want to just penalize her because she got sick. That is a client that I'm not going to do that to. She is somebody that as long as she wants to come to me, she's going to come to me. And I'm going to let her keep coming to me for however long she wants to. I'm not going to penalize her. Now, if she comes 3 months later, it's going to be a full set. But it's fine. You know, we're going to make it work. I can do a full set in 2 hours. My full sets are 3 hours long. But that's just because I like to have that additional time so people can go to the bathroom so that we can chat. And if it's a first-time client, you know, we get a little extra time to get to know each other and make them comfortable. But for years, I did full sets in 2 hours. So I am not concerned, and I'm confident I can give her a gorgeous set even if she has no lashes on at her fill. Again, this is a $150 fill. It's 2 hours long. It's perfectly fine. This is me respecting my clients, right? So I'm respecting that she got sick, and I'm respecting that she is always so consistent. She's always so punctual. She is always so sweet. Because I respect her, she also gives me grace. So if I'm running behind, that's okay. She'll wait for me. And I'm trying not to run behind that often. If I do, it's okay. And that goes with most of my clients because I respect them and their schedule changes. And if they're running behind, they also give me grace if I'm running late. Now, you know, some people will cancel an appointment if somebody is running 15 minutes or more late to their appointment. They have every right to do that. It's their business. But for me, the natural consequence of them running 15 or more minutes late is not me canceling their appointment. It's me only having the remainder of their initial appointment time frame left. If I had 1 hour scheduled for them, they get that same amount of time whether they're there or not. If they're scheduled for 9 a.m., their appointment time ends at 10 a.m., and they tell me they're running behind and they're going to be there at 9:30. Then we have 30 minutes to fill in as much as possible. They don't pay any more, they don't pay any less. Though they may end up needing to come back a little sooner for their next appointment if they aren't full enough for them, but that's just the natural consequence of it. I wouldn't do that intentionally. If they're not happy with how many are in there, then likely they're just going to have to come back a little bit sooner or get a mini fill at some point. When I'm telling them that I'm going to use the remaining time, it's about how I phrase it. So what I don't want you to say is, we will have about as much time as a mini fill. I'll see what I can do. You don't want to say that. One, it implies that you may be only charging them for a mini fill and that that's the appointment they'll have. And that's not true. You're not going to charge them less just because they're late. What you say is, girl, come on, we'll do as much as we can with the time that we have. I'm going to get you fixed up and optimize the time that we have left. This lets her know that you're going to put as many lashes on as you can, and it lets her know that you're using the remainder of the time she already scheduled. That sets the expectation that it's the same appointment cost and it's the same appointment slot. I'm not throwing in any other appointment name because I don't want her to think that I've swapped the appointment for her. I mean, it is the same thing. And now I want to talk about a Facebook post I saw, but first let me preface this by saying, I know what it's like to rely on every appointment and then those cancellation fees to make it by. I have been there, and that was an extremely long time that I was there because I had not learned the necessary skills required to gain clients and keep them. It breaks my fucking heart when I know someone needs money desperately. So they charge the cancellation fee to balance out the cost of living, and they need it to financially help them in the moment. That's a hard time. But it does hurt them more in the long run. In the case you find yourself desperately needing the money, it is even more important to learn the skills required to keep clients. I understand needing that cancellation fee. That may be your dinner, your gas, it could be absolutely anything. But I'm going to do a small math equation here. If you manage to get the fee, in this case, say it's $50. If they don't pay the fee, but they continue booking over the next year, you lost that $50, but you gained $2,400 over the next year. Give or take, depending on the cost of your service and how frequently that individual client books, but I'm going to go based off of my appointment cost. If you charge a fee and enforce policy around every corner, they're likely going to get pissed because they have been coming to you for a while likely, and this is the first time or even the third time in 2 years, or however long it's been, that they've had to cancel. It is possible that they may not even come back. And if they do come back, there may be a tad bit of resentment there. I have clients I did not want back, and I've had to fire them. So know that I'm not referring to clients who repeatedly disrespect your time. I'm referring to loyal clients that are booking consistently, and it's not a common occurrence for them to have to cancel. If you decide to waive that fee and say, no worries, girlie, don't even worry about a cancellation fee. Let's just get you in ASAP. They will be thankful. They will know you are doing them a favor. If they did not realize that there could have been a cancellation fee, saying, don't worry about it. It lets them know that there is one, but you're doing them a favor. While this goes against many people's belief of my business, my time, there is a psychological effect that happens. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect when someone does us a favor. It makes us feel more positively towards that person, and it makes them subconsciously like us more. And this is great when it comes to the service industry because that one small thing can build a clientele that lasts. The point is not the number itself. Even if the client continues coming and they aren't outright feeling negatively towards you, it can be a subconscious feeling that can absolutely influence how long they'll come to you, their loyalty towards your business, and even how frequently they will tell people about you. You want your walking billboard to have all the warm, fuzzy feelings about you and your business, right? Anytime someone compliments her lashes, she'll be jumping at the chance to throw your name out there, versus if she subconsciously has any negative feelings, she'll automatically thank them and feel pretty, but she won't bring you up because she won't think about it. While both women feel pretty, we want a scenario in which they get a dopamine rush and want to talk about us. With that in mind, what feels more important? $50 or a lifelong client? If financial concerns are a factor, then you're going to benefit more from a lifelong client, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. So save the policy police for when you're fully booked, if that's what you're just itching to do. Wait until you're not in a financial struggle and you can afford to lose somebody if they don't want to book again. Okay, I've got a Facebook post because I want to show you real world examples as far as things I see these lash artists out here doing and saying, and with a little bit of guidance, they could be fostering these relationships with the clients rather than almost pushing them away. The post says, how would you have handled it? I just explained my policies since I don't think she has me on my lash page. I don't think I was giving a tone or whatever. I allow 36 hours before appointment to reschedule, which she did. I was just letting her know if she needed to cancel her first initial reschedule, she would have to pay the cancellation fee. I do not have a booking site, so I couldn't force her to pay me even if she didn't send the money. So I think overall, she just wanted to be done with me. Now, here are the messages. The client says, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hey, I totally forgot about my lash appointment on Friday and signed me and my husband up for marriage tonight through our church. Is there any way I can reschedule? Either before Friday or after Friday. Totally fine with waiting. I'm so sorry. So her appointment is on Friday. It's Wednesday. It's a couple days early. The lash artist responded Wednesday at 10 p.m. Hi, would you need a morning or afternoon appointment? My next afternoon appointment would be the 26th. If not, you have until the 28th. It's also open for 7 p.m. Morning, I have blah, 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 and gives these appointment times. And then the next day at 7:47 a.m., the lash artist says, good morning, please let me know. Per my policy, you have 1 week to move your deposit from your booking date or it would be lost and a $15 cancellation fee would be due. Let me know. The client said, I'll take your next available that's at 7 p.m. The lash artist says, I'll move you over to the 26th at 7 p.m. Per my policy, this is the last time you can move your appointment. If you need to reschedule again, a cancellation fee would be due. Also, a new $20 deposit will be required to book a new appointment. I appreciate you for understanding, and I will send your appointment reminder the day before. Have a nice day. Mind you, she was so ahead. She'd already mentioned policy, and the client was totally fine. She booked her appointment. But now she has drilled in those policies again, and actually not just mentioned policy, but really broke it down for her. The client said, I'll go ahead and send you $15 and just go ahead and cancel appointment. The lash artist says, was there a reason why you would not be able to make it the 26th? The client said, it's not that. It's just I have other stuff going on that is a priority. I can't have a lash tech that doesn't like for an appointment to get moved around, especially when this is the first time. I sense the vibes through messages, so I'll just go ahead and cancel altogether. Thank you for your time. The lash artist sends a huge message. There was no vibe, ma'am. I was just explaining per my policies that I only allow you to move your appointment once. It's posted on my lash page, which I'm not sure you follow, so I just want to clarify my policies, which I did so that there is not confusion if you were seeking to reschedule your appointment after the 26th. I allowed you to reschedule because that is an option, and I understand life happens. If you want to cancel overall for a misunderstanding, that is fine, I understand. I got your cancellation fee, and I appreciate you. I was looking forward to lashing you on the 26th more than anything. But have a nice day. Smiley face. And then another message. I think there seems to be some confusion as far as the $20 new appointment fee that would only be due if you had canceled the 26th along with the cancellation fee. Anyway, it does not matter. Again, my apologies. Again, there were no vibes. I was just explaining as a business owner does. I'm going to backtrack and tell you what could have been said. When the client says, I totally forgot about my lash appointment. I'd like to reschedule, blah, blah, blah. She did great. She started off with, hi, would you need a morning appointment or an afternoon appointment? Then she gives the list of appointments she has available. But where she went wrong first, I would not have messaged at 7 a.m. I would have waited because clearly this client wants to reschedule. I wouldn't have responded for quite a while. Okay, so where she messed up. I would have personally been done with this lash artist. As a lash artist, going to lash artists, I have swapped lash artists for less than this. But this client canceled days in advance. And of course, we don't want to be taken advantage of and our time to be respected, but this client didn't lie or make excuses. She made a mistake. She let the artist know as soon as she realized and tried to coordinate to still get an appointment. Did she respond immediately to book? No, but the appointment times were sent at 10 p.m. and the message referencing policy was sent at 7:40 a.m. That didn't give an appropriate amount of time for this client to respond. She was sleeping more than likely, so what is an appropriate amount of time to message prompting booking and then potentially mentioning policies? Well, I personally would have at least waited until the afternoon, bare minimum, but I would give about 24 hours before messaging again, and I wouldn't be referencing the policy at this point, especially after she canceled and asked for an appointment herself. I didn't say, okay, love, but to prevent any fees, let's get you scheduled per my policy, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't have mentioned it. Wouldn't have mentioned it at all because she initiated wanting an appointment. So given the time of day, it's likely she was sleeping. I think we can all agree with that. And honestly, she's probably busy and not going to be able to message the artist back until that night. Likely, she works. I would bare minimum not try to prompt scheduling again until well after work hours. I would have said, no worries, I completely understand. Thank you for letting me know with so much time in advance. And then I'd list the appointment spots available. I have so many appointments that typically when I'm talking about something, it has recently happened. So I do have an example from just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. My client messaged me and said, hello, I'm sorry for the late notice, but I just got called in for overtime and was wondering if I could reschedule for Tuesday morning. This was sent to me. It was like 7:10 a.m. Her appointment was at 9 a.m. She cannot help that she's being called in for overtime. This is a little bit different than someone scheduling something on top of their appointment, but I am explaining a situation where this is even closer to her appointment time. So I let her know I don't have any availability. And at this point, my client has canceled less than 2 hours before her appointment. She had immediately asked about finding an appointment spot in her message. So I sent her those appointment options. And for most people, that would immediately be grounds for charging her card or asking for a deposit because it was so last minute. I didn't do that. And guess what? I didn't get a response. But this client works third shift and must adjust her sleep schedule accordingly. She messaged me back a few mornings later. It was the end of the weekend. She apologized for late response. She chose an appointment spot and asked if it was still available. I said yes, and I booked it for her. Without context, it seems crazy on my part, right? Disrespectful on hers. But she has been coming to me for a year very consistently. And recently, within the past couple months, there have been 2 times at least where I've booked her appointment for the wrong month. She would wake up, she'd be like, oh, I didn't get like a reminder message or anything, and she'd message me before coming in. She'd say, hey, I didn't get a message for this appointment today. Absolutely not. Nope, I fucked up. I don't know if it's been me or Gloss Genius, but one of us has been messing up on just this client's appointments. It's been for the following month. I don't know what's going on. It's likely my fault. But either way, she was never upset. I found spots, I wiggled her in. She would adjust her schedule to accommodate the fills that I messed up, and I appreciate her working with me so much. So the least I can do is be okay with her rescheduling and then not pressuring her to book right away. Just because she's worked with me, I'm going to work with her. I understand life happens, and I knew she was going to get back to me. If I hadn't heard from her by that Monday, I probably would have messaged and been like, hey, girly, would you like any of those appointment times, or do you want to see about looking at a following week or something? But I did give her days of me not even messaging at all. I sent her those times, and I let it sit there. She got back to me when she could, and that is all I can ask for. She came in, we had her appointment, it was great, that was it. But because she had been coming to me so frequently, and because she doesn't often reschedule, I knew she was going to be getting in, whether it was immediately or a little farther out. She never reschedules, let alone canceling the same day. I'm not going to penalize her. She already had a shit day. She was told she had to work extra. Why am I going to make it even shittier because work made her work? Like, that's just not fair. She didn't lie to me. She told me what was going on. And I'm not going to lose a great client because I want her to pay for my time when I wasn't even at the salon yet. I live an hour away and I wasn't even on the way yet. She got back to me and she rescheduled. Was it the same day? No. Was it the next day? No. But did she still reschedule? Absolutely. The point of this is me trying to get the point across to you that our appointments are a luxury and clients' lives don't revolve around us. Even if you're someone that only values clients as a walking dollar sign, which if that's the case, you're probably in the wrong industry, but whatever, you do you. If that's how you feel, you should be grasping that the lifetime value of a client is thousands of dollars more than a single cancellation fee. Clients should be coming to you to relax, to feel beautiful, feel like this is their safe place. But being gotten onto like a child with a punishment is not the way to build that relationship. If you don't think I'm right on this, I want you to again consider how your clientele looks. Are you fully booked, or are you having issues retaining clients? If you have absolutely no issue whatsoever, you're not looking to build your clientele, you're not having to replace clients because clients are staying, nobody's getting upset, then what you're doing is perfectly fine. You have built the clientele that this works for. But who I'm speaking to is the person that isn't having that luck. The person that is having people fall off and they can't quite find the part of their funnel where people are leaving or why they're leaving and they don't understand it. Like the Facebook post I read, She genuinely didn't understand what had happened or where the miscommunication was. So if you're gonna charge a cancellation fee, just put it in the deposit. People often feel better about losing a deposit because it feels like part of the original agreement and not a penalty. Deposits are seen as a prepaid portion of the service, so if they're lost, it feels like a choice that they made up front. In contrast, a cancellation fee can feel like an unexpected punishment or extra charge. This can create frustration. By using deposits, the transaction feels simpler and more fair, avoiding the negative emotions tied to surprise fees. So, my point here is, if you don't care your time is money, no matter what, you're going to want them to pay a cancellation fee no matter how long they've been with you, no matter why they're rescheduling. Make all of your clients pay a deposit. Then you have your cancellation fee already. If they cancel, that deposit's lost, you're fine. Nobody's upset. You don't have to make them pay a fee. They don't have to physically give you money by sending it or charging their card. None of that hostility is there. You already have the money. As far as that appointment spot that is empty, you may feel like your time is wasted, especially if you're already at the salon, or like if you're in your lash room, you're waiting for that next appointment and you have nothing to do. You feel like it's a waste of time, but it isn't. You can optimize your time. Let's make that clear. You can optimize your time to make it valuable for you. So how do you optimize your time? If you have lash trainings online and you want to just reference them, you do that. So sometimes I'll just look back over the PDFs that I got from Lightheart in some of their trainings. Maybe I'll rewatch their video. Maybe I will edit pictures. Maybe I will make posts and schedule them out. Maybe I'll record videos of me making lash fans to show clients behind the scenes and post that on Instagram. Maybe I'll respond to messages I haven't gotten to. Maybe I will lash a mannequin, make strip lashes, make a lash order, organize the lashes, my glues, go through and restock my wands, whatever I can do to make that time valuable. Anything other than just scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram. Listen to a podcast that will help your business. Listen to a podcast that's about anything. And you know what? Listen to a self-help podcast. You don't have to just invest into the business in this time. You can invest into yourself as well. Do I have any podcasts to recommend for self-help? I don't. I'm sorry. But if you know of any, please let me know because I'd be interested in finding some more podcasts. I typically listen to podcasts that are lash related or murder mystery or something like that. But I would be interested in some self-help ones, so send them my way. Anyways, just optimize your time, do something valuable. So back to the fees and stuff. I don't charge a cancellation fee. And I don't even charge a deposit either. So I don't get anything from somebody not coming to their appointment. There have been times where if somebody says, I'm on the way, and then they don't show up, and then they're like, I'm sorry, I just can't make it. I've been waiting for you. I'm set up. I'm ready to crack down. At that point, I'm going to charge a fee. Okay? I'm going to do it because I've been sitting there. I've been awaiting, and there were other things I could have been doing. My foam pads are cut. My lashes are out. My tweezers are ready. Everything is set up. I'm charging the cancellation fee. But beyond that scenario, I don't charge a cancellation fee. And if someone is canceling enough times that I feel like I need to, then I'm probably to the point where I don't want to book that client anymore. I don't frequently have people that this happens with, but they are out there and I have had them. So after all of that is said, I just said I don't require deposits, but I kind of do. I require deposits for all new clients, just not for regular clients. That's part of the trust that we build with one another. We both know that we'll be there if we schedule it. But with a new client, we don't have that trust yet. Too many random people will book an appointment and plans change and they don't show up. They don't communicate. They don't tell you but to them, you're not a person, you're a business, so they're not thinking of your time. They're just like, oh, it's my appointment, it's fine, I'll cancel it. There's no person behind the business to them just yet. A deposit helps prevent that. It's like they're investing in this appointment, and since they've already invested, they're going to show up. Or at the very least, they're going to communicate and try to reschedule it. And thankfully, Gloss Genius has the option to charge deposits for specifically new clients only. I'm going to link Gloss Genius down below, and this is for you to sign up for Gloss Genius if you find that that's what you want to use. But either way, you can click it. You can look at all of their things. I use it. I've been using it for years. I love it. I wouldn't use anything else. After that initial appointment, I find that they're less likely to just not show up. Once they've met you and they see the person behind the business, it really humanizes you and they're gonna be a little bit more communicative. Now, if a new client reaches out wanting to book an appointment, I'll answer their questions and let them know I only accept online bookings. I basically say, I can't wait to meet you. I'll need you to book your appointment online to create your client profile. Or if you would like to send me your full name, your number, and email, I can create that profile for you and book it for you. Then the system will send you a link to pay your deposit. After this initial appointment, you won't have to pay a deposit for fills. This is where they either book, send you the information, or they ghost. Ghosting is a relief. Then I know they would have likely been an unreliable client anyways. And my deposits are only $10, and that's nothing compared to the appointment cost. I don't charge it just to have $10. I only charge it to ensure that they're going to come. If they're hesitant to pay the deposit, it's either because they're not committed to coming or they aren't comfortable putting their card online. In that case, I offer Venmo. I understand them being uncomfortable putting in card information online. They don't know me, and we don't trust each other yet. I don't trust them, they don't trust me. If there's someone older that is just not comfortable with their card info online and they don't have Venmo, you can adjust accordingly. I can typically tell if it's bullshit or if they're genuine. I've been in this long enough to understand that people can play you, but also to understand that some people are not willing to budge on having their card info online. Not always because they don't trust me, but because of, cyber attacks on companies and people collecting card information or any personal information out there. Because that can happen. It does happen. And then some of those people don't even have Venmo, and that's sometimes because of the same thing. They're worried about those systems being hacked and their information being stolen. I completely understand. So, I have waived deposits for some people, and they have become longtime clients. I've also waived it for people that didn't show up or canceled right before. The scenario of being told someone has no way to pay a deposit is rare. So if you do waive it, you can find peace in knowing that worst thing that can happen is they don't show up, and you still optimize your time in other ways, investing in yourself and or your business. Now, I also want you to consider when someone says that it's because they don't have the money. If someone can't pay a $10 deposit because they don't have the money, maybe they don't get paid until Friday, I would say, I'm so sorry, you're more than welcome to book that appointment spot if it's still available when you get paid. I don't mean what I'm about to say in any kind of way. It's just important to talk about. I have high prices for a reason, so if someone is paycheck to paycheck, they're going to book with the cheapest service providers, and that isn't me. I'm pricey. My fills are $100 and $150. If you're paycheck to paycheck, you aren't paying that. I wasn't able to pay those prices myself until the past couple years. If someone can't pay a $10 deposit because they haven't been paid, they're probably not my ideal clientele. And when it comes to you really needing the cash and not necessarily concerned about the long-time clientele at the moment, you can waive the deposit. But when you do that, keep in mind that client is probably not going to come. I'll talk about pricing and ideal clients in a future episode. But basically, if they weren't able to pay a $10 deposit, then they're probably not going to be able to afford that fill when it comes. Even though they think, oh, I'm going to get paid, I'll be able to pay for a full set. They may have other bills that are unexpected come out, or sometimes the money just doesn't go as far as they thought it would go. So that does wrap up this episode. I hope I gave you a different perspective towards clients and policies. To summarize, I basically trust that my clients are good people and understand that they are people and shit happens in life. I do my best to be the least stressful factor in their lives, and I try to seek the high-paying clientele that is empathetic and understanding so we can understand each other. The next podcast will be on pricing and why my prices are higher, the type of clientele it attracts, and how to work smarter, not harder, and lower those hours and still reach 6 figures a year. Thank you so much for listening.